السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الكريم. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. رب اشرح لنا صدورنا ويسر لنا أمورنا واحلل عقدة من ألسنتنا يفقهوا أقوالنا. بسم الله.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وكذلك التي يمنع جواز نكاح الأمة, and like that the ability to marry a free woman prevents the permissibility of marrying a slave. عنده according to Imam Shafi رحمه الله عليه, لأن الكتاب علق نكاح الأمة بعدم الطول, because the Quran it suspends nikah of a slave بعدم الطول, with the inability to have the ability to marry a free person. فعند وجود الطول كان الشرط عدما. So with the availability of the means, then the shart is weak. وعدم الشرط مانع من الحكم. And the عدم الشرط, the condition of not having the means, that the condition is not present, and when the condition is not present, then the ruling will not apply.
Sure. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So we carry on with Bayan al-Taghyir. What is Bayan al-Taghyir again? Bayan al-Taghyir is where the first part of the statement is changed by the second part. You get a particular understanding of the first part, and then the end of the sentence or the next half of the sentence changes that understanding somewhat. Then two of the major manners or ways in which taghyir is done in a sentence is ta'liq and istithna. These are the two main causes. Why? Because in these two aspects, there are others, but in these two aspects, there is a major difference of opinion between Jumhur and the Ahnaf. So he's going to discuss each one in turn. First, ta'liq. The ta'liq again is where we find a shart and jaza. In other words, the occurrence of an action is suspended upon the presence of the shart. If the shart is present, then an action will take place, like in the khaltita, anti-talikun in the khaltita. So talaq or hukam will not take place until we find dukhul dar. So with regards to this ta'liq first, he's discussing ta'liq first. The main difference here is what? That the Shawafi and the Jumhur say that the ta'liq, that action which is suspended upon the shart, comes into being immediately. But because of the absence of the shart, it does not take any effect. So anti-talikun in the khaltitar, the talaq does occur, but it doesn't become effective, meaning that the hukam of it, the effect of it, that the woman becoming divorced, doesn't happen because we do not find a shart of dukhul dar. Whereas the Ahnaf say that anti-talikun doesn't occur at all. It's as if he didn't say it at all in that moment. Once dukhul dar comes into effect, then it is as if he's saying for anti-talikun, now you are divorced. Okay? So basically, the basic difference is what? The Shawafi and Jumhur rahmatullah alayhim say that the talaq occurs immediately, but is prevented from having effect because of the absence of the shart. The Ahnaf say it doesn't occur at all in that moment, but only occurs after the shart is found. Understood so far?
Gee.
All right. Then he gave an example where we can clearly see what is the benefit or what is the outcome of this difference. He gave two examples. If a person was to tell a strange female, intazawwaj tuki fa anti talikun, and similarly, if someone was to say to a slave which he doesn't own, in malaktuka fa anta hurun. Now, based upon this, we find that when it comes to so those were like what you call common speech. Now we come to the Nas, the Quran, right? Because obviously you want to understand these nusus as far as possible in the light of the Quran and how it affects our understanding of the Messiah from the Quran and the Hadith. So now he's giving an example from the Quran that based upon this asal of the Shawafi and Jumhur, Imam Shafi rahmatullahi says that if because in the Quran it says what um, the Quran gives a list of the maharim, حُرِمَتْ عَلَيْكُمْ أُمَّهَاتُكُمْ at the end of the fourth juz. Then going into the fifth
G.
juz it says وَأُحِلَّ لَكُمْ مَا وَرَاءَ ذَلِكُمْ. So that besides this that have been listed now, beyond that everyone else is permissible. Then the ayat carries on and says that if you are unable to marry a free woman, if you are unable, then the word that is used is told, if
G.
you are unable to marry a free woman, then you can get married to a slave girl. Why? Because obviously you get married to a free woman, the maintenance is your responsibility. If you get married to a slave girl, the maintenance is her master's responsibility. So in that way, it works out a bit easier on the pocket for a person is not by the means. And so the Sharia has given us the permission that you can get married to a slave girl. But the ayat says, if you are unable to, then if you are unable to, then you can get married to the slave girl. Uh, did we do that other piece yesterday? Before
The
before
first
this, yes?
piece we did. G. We did the first piece.
Okay. I'm just wondering if I reached till the okay. وكذلك, so now you're saying وكذلك التول الحرة. So similarly, the ability to marry a free woman. يمنع so right, so the I says in. Then ومن لم يستطع منكم طولا. من لم, whoever that is shart. Whoever does not have from amongst you have the ability to marry the muhsanat mu'minat. From him then, from him malakat aymanukum, then from those that your right hand owns. Min fatayak mu'minat, from the believing slave, from your believing slave girls. Okay? So Imam Shafi Rahman says that, see, this is a shart. Whoever doesn't have, then he can get married. So if you do have the ability to get married to a free woman, you can then not get married to a slave girl. Because this ayat is conditional to the presence of the shart. And if the shart is not present, then the jaza and the jawab won't take place either. Understand? So if you have the
G.
ability, then you can't get married. If you do have the ability, so if you don't have the ability to get married, then you can get married to a slave girl. But if you do have the ability to get married to a free woman, you can't get married to a slave girl. وكذلك الطول الحر يمنع جواز النكاح الأمة عنده. And similarly, meaning based upon this masala that we just discussed prior to this, if a, are you sure we did the part before this? I don't remember.
I think we are
شرط
starting
صحة
for them.
التعليق. Did we do that?
I think we are starting by وَإِنْدَنَا.
Mm, gee. Yeah, I think we didn't do that part. Okay. So we are so we did those two masalas that if a person tells somebody who's not his wife, intazawajtuka, or he tells a slave who's not in his ownership. However, this is not general. There's a condition for this. For such statements to be correct is a condition. If this condition is not found, then we also say that your statement will be of no benefit. For example, if you tell a strange woman, in the khalti dar fa'anti tarikun, that's love. That's a waste of time. Even if she enters the house, she can't be divorced because she's not his wife. You follow? So this is another
G.
general thing. So it won't be like if he gets married to her, then she enters the house, and then she'll be divorced. No. So we're saying there's a condition for such ta'aliqat to be effective, even according to us. Otherwise, we agree with Jumhur that in certain circumstances, there's such a ta'liq will be of no effect whatsoever. What is that condition? وعندنا كان التعليق صحيحا حتى لو تزوجها يقع الطلاق. So if a person said to a strange woman that if I get married to you, you are divorced, such a ta'liq, such a suspension is correct. Therefore, if he was to marry her, the talaq will take place. Why? لأن كلامه ينأكد إلة عند وجود الشرط والملك ثابت عند وجود الشرط فيصح التعليق. Why? Because his statement only comes into being, only is only effective as an illah, sent for divorce, as a cause for divorce, when the shart is found, which is dukhul al-dar. And similarly, ownership is only established for him when and the ownership has been established for him when the shart was found. فيصح التعليق, so therefore تعليق would be correct. Understood?
G.
Right. Now, ولهذا المعنى قلنا شرط صحة التعليق. And for this reason, معنى يعني من إلا. For this reason we say the condition for such a تعليق to be correct. And وقوعه في صورة عدم الملك. For it to be correct, to be effective in the instance, in the example of him not having ownership over the slave or ownership over the woman, ملك البدع. أن يكون مضافا إلى الملك أو إلى سبب الملك. Very important. That he must make the ta'liq suspended to ownership, becoming the owner, or to the sabab of ownership, or to a cause of ownership. Like in the first example, he made the ta'liq suspended to him marrying the woman. So marriage is a cause, then a sabab of him becoming the owner of the Buddha. Understand? And in the case of the
G.
slave, if I become your owner, if I own you, or you say if I was to buy you, I will set you free. Understand? So either he attributes the ta'liq, the act which is suspended, the suspended act to ownership or to a cause of ownership, then only such a ta'liq will be correct. Otherwise, it won't be correct, even according to us. Therefore, if you was to say to a strange female, in the dar, if you enter the house, you are divorced. ثم تزوجها, thereafter marries her, ووجد الشرط, and that shart is found, لا يقع الطلاق. Talaq won't take place. Why? Because the condition for such a ta'liq, even according to us, is not found what? But he did not attribute dukhul al-dar to ownership or a cause of ownership. Okay?
G.
Right, now we come to this masala. So I explained the ayat and everything. Right? So according to Imam Shafi rahmatullahi, the ability to marry a free woman will prevent the permissibility of marrying a free woman. Why? لأن الكتاب علق نكاح الأمة بعدم التول, because the Quran Kareem has suspended the permissibility, in brackets, permissibility of marrying the slave woman on the absence of ability, on inability. عدم التول, inability. The Quran has suspended the permissibility of nikah to the slave girl on inability. فعند وجود التول كان الشرط عدما. So when ability is found, then when ability is present, then the shart will be absent. Then the shart of not having ability will be absent. وعدم الشرط مانع من الحكم فلا يجوز, and the absence of that shart, inability, becomes a preventative from the hukam coming into effect. And the permissibility of you marrying the slave girl, it prevents that from happening. فلا يجوز, therefore it's not permissible. You follow?
G.
Was that clear? Does it make sense?
G.
Right. Second masala, وكذلك, so based upon the same thing of the ta'liq, where you find ta'liq, because it comes into effect immediately, but if the shart is not found, then that action which has been suspended upon the presence of the shart will also not be found. وكذلك قال الشافعي رحمه الله تعالى لا نفقة للمبتوتة إلا إذا كانت حاملا. And similarly, Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah says there is no expenditure, no spending upon a mabtuta. A mabtuta is a woman who has been divorced thrice. A woman who has been given talaq mughallada. Understand? Mabtuta. That's another term for talaq al-batta is also called. So there's no expenditure for a woman that has been divorced thrice. إلا إذا كانت
Is
حاملا.
it buying?
Maaf.
But is it buying also? Two divorces.
I don't know, 3
This
divorces.
I'm saying like this mabtuta. Is it also like buying talak
No, only a mughallada.
or mughallada?
Okay.
Jimala.
إلا إذا كانت. So لأن الكتاب علق الإنفاق بالحمل. Why? Because the Quran Kareem has suspended or has suspended expenditure upon her being pregnant. And the Quran has attached the condition of expenditure pending her pregnancy. لقوله تعالى وإن كن أولاد حمل فأنفقوا عليهن حتى يضعن حملهن. And if they, that is those who have been given talaq, أولاد حمل are pregnant, فأنفقوا عليهن, then, so وإن شرطية, فأنفقوا is the
Condition.
what you call the تعليق بالشرط, then the شرط or the جزاء of the شرط. Then spend upon them until they deliver their burden, until they give birth. Okay? So
J.
if she is pregnant, then spend. If she's not pregnant, so if the child is not found, the child being pregnancy, if that's not found, then anfiku also won't be found. The absence of that child will prevent the jaza anfiku from coming into being. You follow?
J.
G.
فإن عدم الحمل كان الشرط عدمان. So therefore, in the absence of pregnancy, the shart will be absent. The shart will be absent, which is pregnancy. وعدم الشرط مانع من الحكم عنده, and in turn, the absence of the shart will then become a preventative, or become a means of stopping the hukam which is pending, according to Imam Shafi rahmatullah alayh. Okay? So adamul hamal, when there's the absence of pregnancy, the shart is not found. And because the shart is not found, it will stop and prevent the hukam which is in fact from taking place. Understood?
J.
G.
وعندنا لما لم يكن عدم الشرط مانعا من الحكم جاز أن يثبت الحكم بدليله. We say on the other hand that because the absence of a shart is not a preventative, is not a block from the hukam, understand? It is possible that the hukam can be established through another dalil, by another dalil in brackets, okay, another. Because according to us, the absence of the shart doesn't necessarily mean that the jaza can't come into effect. It is therefore possible that for those who are not pregnant, there could be another dalil allowing expenditure for them as well. Okay? Understand this in this way, that if I, for example, say, uh, if it rains, the ground would have been wet. Understand? And the ground is not wet. So therefore it didn't rain. Understand? You follow what I'm saying?
No, can you just repeat that?
G.
If I say, if it rained, the ground will get wet. But the ground is not wet. So therefore the conclusion is what? It didn't rain. You follow?
J.
Now that does make sense, but it's
Jimala.
also not correct. Why is it not correct? Because the ground could still be wet because of some other reason. You
J.
follow? It's
J.
almost like I'm saying,
G.
if the principal's car is not in the parking lot, he won't be in his office. His car is not in the parking lot, so he's not in his office, meaning he's absent today. But that, I could be wrong. You follow?
J. J.
Because it's possible that the principal took a walk. got a lift, or his car is in a garage or something, and the car he decided to park his car in another spot. You follow what I'm saying?
Okay.
So although what I said makes sense,
जी मौला
is a bit faulty. My logic is a bit faulty because there are other possibilities as to why the car is not in the garage, not in the parking lot. There are other possibilities as to why the ground can be wet. You follow?
Okay.
So that's what we're saying here. That just
जी
because this particular ayah has not mentioned the hukam of those who are not pregnant, those divorcees who are not pregnant, it does not mean that all other divorcees are excluded from the hukam of infaq. It's possible that Allah Ta'ala mentioned them somewhere else and included them under the expenditure. You follow?
Okay.
So فيجوز نكاح الأمة ويجب الإنفاق بالأمومات. So therefore it will be permissible to get married to the Amma, despite the fact the person having the ability to marry a free woman. What in fact, and it will be compulsory to spend on all divorcees during the iddah bil umumat because of the umumun the generality of the other nusus. For example, the other nusus would be what, like I read the ayat, أُحِلَّ لَكُمْ وَأُحِلَّ لَكُمْ مَا وَرَاءَ ذَلِكُمْ. After listing all those maharim, but let's say it is permissible for you whatever is beyond that. So whatever beyond that is meaning that all other women that have not been mentioned in that list, they will be permissible to get married to. That will include a slave girl. Okay?
Okay.
فَانْكِحُوا مَا طَابَ لَكُم مِنَ النِّسَاءِ and so
जी
forth. Then get married to whichever woman you desire. Again, a slave girl. So these are all ayahs which are armed. So these are all ayahs which are armed. So therefore, through this umum of these ayat, we understand that a person can get married to a slave girl despite the fact that he might be able to marry a free woman. Got that?
Okay.
Similarly, with regards to the nafaqah, وَعَلَى الْمَوْلُودِ لَهُ رِزْقُهُنَّ وَكِسْوَتُهُنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. After mentioning a normal divorcee, Allah mentions this, and upon that person for whom the child is born, or will be born, meaning the father, the husband, رِزْقُهُنَّ, and their sustenance, وَكِسْوَتُهُنَّ, and their clothing, بِالْمَعْرُوفِ, in the understood manner, in the normal manner. فَأَنْفِقُوا عَلَيْهِنَّ and so forth. فَأَنْفِقُوا عَلَيْهِنَّ. So there are other nusus which are general and armed, which shows that just because they have not been included in that under that particular ayah, or just because there is a shart attached to that particular ayah, that the others have been excluded from it. We cannot exclude them just because that just because the shart is not found in one or two instances. Okay? But rather we have to
जी
look through the other nusus. If the other nusus confirms that, then fine. If the other nusus doesn't confirm that, then we can't come to that conclusion. Okay?
Okay.
जी मौला
Is that clear? Right.
Okay,
Then the
well.
last thing we mentioned before it goes on to istithna is that a sifa, if we have a word, a mawsuf, a word, and it comes with a qualifying word, a sifa, it is qualified by a sifa, then according to Imam Shafi rahmatullahi, that the hukam in that ayat will be confined to that sifa. If we have a mawsuf sifa, then, for example, if I tell you ishrab bil ma'il barid, al ma'il barid, drink cold water, ishrab bil ma'al barid, sorry, right? Drink cold water. So it's the same as I'm telling you that in sharibta fal ma'ul barid. If you're going to drink, then only cold water. Okay?
Okay.
So according to Imam
जी
Shafi, having a sifat attached gives the same understanding as ta'liq bishart. Because by mentioning the sifa, I'm restricting it to that particular quality. Drink cold water, you can only drink cold water, not any other water. You follow?
True.
So
جيم
وعلى ومن توابع هذا النوع, and from the aspects which follow this type or these type of مسائل, ترتب الحكم على الاسم الموصوف بصفة is where the حكم is suspended or connected to an اسم موصوف, a word which is attached to an adjective. فإنه بمنزلة تعليق الحكم, because it has the same status as a حكم which is معلق, which is suspended or pending a شرط, as I just explained now. بذلك الوصف, by connecting it to that particular adjective or صفة, according to Imam Shafi'i رحمه الله. وعلى هذا, so based upon this أصل, if we have a صفة, that صفة must be found for the حكم to be found. Imam Shafi'i رحمه الله says لا يجوز نكاح الأمة الكتابية, from the same ayat we just mentioned now. It's not permissible to get married to a slave girl that is from the Ahlul Kitab. Why? لأن النص رتب الحكم على أمة مؤمنة, because the Quran has stipulated, has applied the hukum of getting married to a slave girl to a mu'mina slave girl. لقوله تعالى من فتياتكم المؤمنات. The same ayah we just read now. If you don't have the ability to get married to a mu'mina, a free woman, then من فتياتكم المؤمنات, then to your Muslim, your mu'min slave girls. So by mentioning mu'minat, Imam Shafi rahmatullah says, if your slave girl is a mu'min, then you can get married to her. If she isn't, then you can't. You follow?
True.
جيم
So the mu'minat is restricting the marriage of the slave girl to a
Being a
mu'min slave
believer.
girl. Maaf?
To being a
To a believer,
believer.
correct. To a believer, correct. So فيتقيد بالمؤمنة, so it will be restricted to a female believer. فيمتنع الحكم إن عدم الوصف, of therefore the hukam will be prevented, will be stopped, will be blocked in the absence of that quality, that adjective. فلا يجوز نكاح الأمة الكتابية, therefore it will not be permissible to get married to a slave girl that is from the Ahlul Kitab. Okay, understood?
So that is the masla, or that is
جيم
what Imam Shafi rahmahullah says.
That is what Imam Shafi'i said according to this kitab. Again, I told you, you have to go and check if that really is his masala or not, okay? But according to
True.
the kitab, that's what he's saying. So you can't get married to a slave girl at all if you can't get married to a free woman. If you do get married to a slave girl, she must be a believing slave girl because of the qualifier, the mu'minat. Okay?
True.
جيم
Okay. So here again, our response to that is the same, that we have to look at the umum nusus, because before that, the act which we did, it also comes with a sifat now. من المؤمنات, what is it? ومن لم يستطع منكم أن ينكح المحصنات المؤمنات. محصنات المؤمنات. Whereas we know you can get married to, nobody disagrees that you can get married to a free woman that's from the Ahlul Kitab, yes or no?
True.
So why are
جي
you
the
not
same
applying this? Why are you not applying the same ruling there?
Yes.
Because this ayah says muhsanatul mu'minat also.
True.
Okay. Whereas we know that because of the other ayat, the answer will come because of the other ayat. So we're saying the same thing here. And just because this ayat mentioned mu'minat doesn't mean that it will exclude the Ahlul Kitabiyya, Ahlul Kitab. Okay.
True.
جي
Any questions? Anything you didn't understand?
No, not for myself.
not for myself
Okay. Just go through. You can and let me know if tomorrow if there is that. So
Inshallah.
I was hoping to finish, but it is a bit tricky, so we'll go slow. Otherwise, we better we end slow. Okay, so tomorrow, inshallah, if Allah wills, we're going to the second major difference of opinion regarding this masala, which is istithna. Bayan taghyir, when it is impacted by istithna illa, inshallah. Okay.
Inshallah.
What's the okay, inshallah. Jeez.